Hi, everybody. We're going to try to begin. So thank you all for coming. I know you probably got a little bit of a shock when you got the rates for the Health New England Med Plus this year. We are having this informational meeting so you can find out, A, what Med Plus gives you and what advantages you should be utilizing to help save your costs, and then also give you the alternatives of what Tufts and Blue Cross Blue Shield offers, so you can make a more informed decision. I've always told you over the years that it's more important than ever for you to understand your needs and your health insurance needs, because all the plans can't cover everything. They all have certain pluses. Sandra Ruiz is with Health New England. She's our representative. She's going to explain the Health New England Med Plus, as well as an alternative plan that they offer, the Advantage Plan, which in the past I know the Advantage plans are, they're a little bit expensive and you're exposed to a lot of out-of-pocket costs. The rates on that plan did come down considerably, so it might be a viable option for you. So I'd like you to just keep your heads open and listen to what everyone has to say so that you can pick the plan that best suits your needs. Thank you.
Thank you, darling. Well, good morning, everyone. Like she said, I'm Sandra, and I'm from Health New England. I also have Carla Figueroa here. She's our amazing Medicare specialist, and she's here to correct me if I say something wrong. So I hand out a sheet that kind of gives you a summary of both options that you have with Health New England. In the interest of time, I'm not going to go through every single detail of every benefit that's covered. However, once the fair starts, I'm going to have enrollment kits, and Carla and I are going to be there. So if you have any specific questions, then you can come see us, and we'll do our best to answer them, just because we want to allow time to the other carriers to also talk to you about their plan options. So for starters, if you look at the sheet I hand out, you have to be enrolled in Part A and Part B in order to be eligible for the options that Health New England offers you. You have to reside within the Health New England network. And on the pre-enrollment kits, we're going to have a list of what that network looks like, so you can take a look and make sure that any facilities that you're currently using are in the network or not. Medicare, it's primary, so for the Med Plus plan, it's a plan that works in coordination with Medicare. And also with the Med Plus plan, you have access to CanaRx, and then you have access to the diabetes program as well. And it's my understanding that it's only compatible with the Med Plus plan, so if you were deciding to leave the Med Plus plan, please keep in consideration that you will no longer have access to those benefits. I created a little chart on the first page that talks about the Med Plus plan and the Secure Freedom. For the network, the Med Plus plan, it's an HMO plan. So again, you have to use Health New England's network for your services. While with the Secure Freedom, you do have access to out-of-network coverage. However, it does cost you more when you go out of network to get your coverage. And then for emergency coverage, regardless which plan you decide with Health New England, not just the two options here, you are covered for emergencies worldwide. So when you are on the Med Plus plan, you have to present both your Medicare and your H&E insurance card when you're receiving services. As I mentioned, the Med Plus does work in coordination with Medicare, so the Health New England plan pretty much wraps around the Medicare, and you as the subscriber may have a copayment. And when I'm saying may have a copayment is because this plan, while it's very rich, there are some minor co-payments. From what I have heard from members on this plan, they say that they never have to pay anything. But according to how the plan is set up, there should be a co-payment. So later on, I'm just going to talk about what benefits may have a co-payment, what that co-payment may look like. The network, it's pretty much the same and as comprehensive as if you were actively working. So you wouldn't lose any coverage regarding the network if you were actively working when you move to the retiree. And as I mentioned, the plan is very rich, very low co-payments, if any. So you're going to see there's a chart where on the left-hand side, it talks about the benefits that have zero co-payment. So if you were to be admitted under the Med Plus plan, you pay nothing. If you were to receive skilled nursing facility and inpatient rehab services, which you have up to 100 per calendar year, you pay nothing. For lab services, for x-rays, for ultrasound, diagnostic imaging, whether you're having a CT scan, an MRI, nuclear cardiac imaging, you pay nothing under the Med Plus plan. Same with home health care and with hospice as well. However, If you were to see your PCP, a specialist, get services in urgent care, go for second opinions, you're supposed to have a $10 copay. And again, I'm saying supposed to because from what I have heard of members in the plan, they don't tend to pay anything. But I do want to put out there is supposed to be a copayment in case you go to the doctor and say, Sandra told me there's no copayments, and yet you're charged for $10 copayment.
Sandra, does the Med Plus only cover what Medicare covers?
It covers more than Medicare. Yes. For the emergency room, there's a $50 copayment if you get services in the ER. If you're getting outpatient short-term rehab, allergy testing, cardiac rehab, it's supposed to be a $10 copayment. DME services, it's a 20% coinsurance, and then if you do need the ambulance transportation services, it's $25 per ride. This plan, the MedPlus plan also offers wellness reimbursement. It's $200 per subscriber, and you can use that towards gym, Weight Watchers, farm shares, workout equipment, and more. And on the materials that I'm going to have on my table later on at the fair, you're going to have more detailed information. Again, I'm just having a summary of what the plan looks like and what it may cover. And also for the pharmacy co-pays, it's a 3-tier. It's $10, $20, and $35 for your medications. Is everybody with me? I know I'm going probably fast, but there's a lot of information, and I want to try to leave some space for questions. Yeah.
What's DME?
Durable medical equipment. So if we move to the other page, that one is the Secure Freedom Plan. That is the Advantage plan that Corinne was referring to. This plan provides additional benefits that beyond original Medicare. You must present only the H&E card where you're using, if you are in this plan or you are to use this plan, you present the H&E ID card. There is a limited network. This is the plan that does allow you to obtain services outside of H&E's network. However, it does come to a cost. I already mentioned about the worldwide emergency coverage. So there is a little chart. Again, it's just a summary that gives you an idea what the co-payments will be if you were to obtain services in network versus out of network. If you were to go to your doctor for a doctor's visit, it's $15 in network versus $55 out of network. So out of network really will be for people that want to go out of network, doesn't really want to stay in network. You have the flexibility to do that, but you're going to pay more out of pocket when you do that. For inpatient hospital, you pay $300 per admission under this plan in network, but you're going to pay $900 if you go out of network. And there is a maximum of 3 co-payments per year. As I mentioned on the MedPlus, if you were to be admitted, you pay nothing by being admitted in the hospital on the MedPlus, but you are paying a little bit more every month for that one. And then on that chart, that little chart, it shows you a little bit more, a few more of the benefits and what you're cost sharing, what you will be responsible to pay if you were to obtain your services in network versus out of network. But I do want to point out a few extras that this plan does offer. It does have a hearing aid benefit. You get up to 2 hearing aids per year. There is a cost. And again, this is just a summary, and the kits that I have will have more detailed information about each of these benefits and how they're covered. There's also a hearing exam. You do get a 1 supplemental routine hearing exam per calendar year. Nutritional counseling, you have up to 4 visits per calendar year at no cost to you. There's a physical exam and the WellCare visit. So the original Medicare only covers an annual WellCare visit, while the plan, this plan with H&E will cover the WellCare visit along with the comprehensive physical exam each year at no cost to you. For vision care, you get 1 routine exam with refractions per calendar year. You also will get an allowance for your prescription eyewear every 2 years. And some of the items covered will be eyeglasses, lenses, and or frames and contact lenses, but you must use an iMed provider to have access to the benefit. A new benefit that we have starting in January 1st, it's what we call the New Meals Program. So as a Medicare Advantage member, you, if you are admitted at the hospital, once you are discharged From the inpatient stay, you may qualify for to have up to 28 fully prepared nutritionist meals, meaning 2 meals per 14 days, 2 meals per day for 14 days, delivered to your home for no cost. And I will have a flyer on that information on my table as well. That it's a new program, and that's effective January 1st. And there's also towards the bottom, there's a little chart that shows you the allowances that you have, and these are usually pretty much you pay for and then you submit for reimbursement, except for the prescription eyewear. So for dental, you get $250 per calendar year. For fitness, while on the MedPlus you get $200 per subscriber, on this plan you get a combine of $150 per calendar year that you can use towards gym, Weight Watchers, acupuncture, for over-the-counter items such as the shower chairs, grab bars, raised toilet seats, automatic blood pressure cuffs, bathtub benches, and more. As I mentioned, the prescription eyewear, there's a $100 allowance that it's a point of service, and that's every 2 years. And then you also have $350 per calendar year for wigs if you are or have recently gone under chemotherapy. The prescription coverage for this plan has 5 tiers. Varies from $4, $10, $25, $45, and $50, while on the MedPlus is only 3 tiers. Does that make any sense? I know I'm going pretty fast, but I want to allow some time. Yeah, there's a lot to cover, and again, like I said, Carla and I are going to be out there sitting, so if you have any specific questions, please feel free to come to us and chat with us about any questions or concerns you may have. I know that the MedPlus plan increase was about 17% for the upcoming year, but unfortunately, that plan has been underfunded for many years, and this is where we are. As my role at Health New England is to try to, every year, I'm providing renewal, provide recommendation of what the premium should look like. And the trust, the board has been really good to you guys and not wanting to increase the premium year after year. But we can't do that anymore. The plan has been underfunded, so we have to, that's the reason why we had to increase to 17%. It's a very rich plan, as I explained, but it does come at a cost, so.
Thanks.
Question?
Your question?
Yeah, I have a question regarding Medicare. I guess the law back in 2015 that was passed. There's some changes that were taking place in 2020 regarding Medicare that affects the wrap plans. And there's something was mentioned about they would no longer be able to pay the deductible on the Medicare.
I think that's with the Advantage plans.
No, that's that whole thing is grandfathered to people who are already 65.
Okay, what about new people? Like, for instance, my wife was just starting this year. So
anybody before January 120 who turned 65. If it's after that, then they're going to be affected by the new rules.
Okay, so if their birthday was in May, they would be affected by the new rules then?
Next May?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. Right, and in that case, what would happen with that deductible at the beginning of Medicare that wouldn't be paid by the...
But remember, that's individual plans,
That's
not the group plans.
that's private sector.
That's the private sector. All the plans cover that, so for her, it would make no difference.
It wouldn't make any
No.
difference? Okay.
No.
Right,
You know, when you hear stuff or read stuff Medicare, it applies to your neighbor next door who never worked for a town or anything like that. It's
Okay.
just the street plan, we call it.
And everyone, this is
You guys-
Fred, he's with Tufts, you've all heard me call him my
It's very
Medicare
fortunate.
guru.
All that stuff behind the scenes, we take care of that, so you don't have to worry about that at all.
All right, thank
Like
you.
I tell people, when you get that Medicare book every year, don't read it. It doesn't really apply to you. You're lucky, it doesn't really apply to you, you know? That's the truth.
So part of what Sandra was saying about the trust and the trust trying to help find ways to keep those costs down for Health New England, they've also tried to, by keeping those costs down, they have some plans open to you that you have access to. One's Good Health Gateway, if any of you are diabetic, or I'm going to have Patricia Joyce come over and speak to you. She's going to explain how you can save money on your diabetes testing supplies and medications. If that helps anybody, which may make it worth paying the extra premium for by offsetting the cost of testing supplies and medications. Patty, can you explain how the program works?
Sure, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I apologize, I'm fighting a cold, so I'm a little hoarse today. What I wanted to talk to you about today is the Good Health Gateway program, and it's called Diabetes Care Rewards. So if you currently are on the Health New England plans, you have access to this program. We are
Just the
sending
MedRat package.
just the MedRat, thank you. And you probably have seen yourself get mailings like this. This is one of our most recent ones that we sent out, and it's called the Manage Your Diabetes Flyer, just reminding you of the benefit and what it does for you. So the Good Health Gateway program is for people who have type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes. And by following the care activities, we call them, your reward for following them and working with your physician and maintaining your diabetes is zero copay on your diabetes meds and supplies. So zero copay on insulin, zero copay on metformin, zero copay on the strips for your meters. That's considered part of the supplies. The form that you would complete for that I will have today, and I definitely will have more information. A couple people have to speak today, but you have to get your blood work, and you have to get your A1C twice a year. You have to get your eye exam and your foot exam. So these are all activities that as someone who has diabetes, they will normally be working with their physician to obtain. So all we ask is that you send that information to us, and by completing all these activities on a yearly basis and A1C twice a year, again, you receive zero copay on all of your diabetes specific medications and supplies. So it's a very rich benefit. Obviously, part of the advantage of putting all this in is you're going to feel better as someone who has diabetes diagnosis. So by following your recommendations from your physicians and the American Diabetes Association, you definitely will feel better. You'll be taking your medications, and you'll be in better health for your diagnosis. I know there's a couple people have to speak today, but that's definitely an overview of the program. I will be here afterwards as well to answer any questions with anybody. We also have a registration incentive that'll be coming up at the beginning of the year, and I also am going to be offering it today that if you are qualified for the program and you register, we were going to be offering a $10 Amazon gift card to anybody. So please come see me if you have any questions again about the program. And it's again, zero copay on all diabetes specific medications and supplies. Thank you.
So the Scantic Valley Trust also has an agreement with Canna RX, which allows people on the Health New England Med Plus to receive the medications from Australia, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, and they get delivered to your house free of charge. This is because it's cheaper for the trust for you to get your medications that way, so there are lists of medications that you can use to purchase that way, which helps reduce the premium as well. I just want to be clear, I'm going to have the representative come up and speak. Health New England and Canna RX are two different things. This is an alternative prescription buying program that you would participate with. If you have an issue with your prescription, you would contact Canna RX, not Health New England. Health New England does not know what you're getting from medications from Canna RX. So that's, after that said, I'll have Canna RX come up and speak to you, but it is a very good way to help save money.
Well, good morning. Is everybody confused yet? Canna RX and Health New England are not associated, but they do not eliminate each other. Some of you are probably taking generic medications, and some of you may be taking generic and name brand medications. If that's the case, and you happen to be taking a name brand medication, I've got a list up here for your plan. You can get through the mail a 90-day supply, and the Scantic Valley will pay the entire cost for you. You don't pay a copay at all. It's like any other mail order program. Once you enroll in it, it's going to go along, and they're actually going to call you all the time. It does use Canada, it does use the United Kingdom, it does use Australia. The reason it uses those companies is the federal government has determined that those companies follow all the same rules and regulations that we do to license and sell medications. So they're coming from the same manufacturers. The difference being it would be coming from a neighborhood pharmacy up in Canada or a neighborhood pharmacy in Australia, and that pharmacist, or United Kingdom, puts it in an envelope and mails it to you. But it's an actual neighborhood pharmacy. And that's very important because they can only sell medications that have been distributed through the government-regulated distribution, so you know you're not getting any counterfeit medications. Matter of fact, these programs have been around since 2001. No one has ever received anything but the exact name brand medication from the name brand manufacturer. So much so that it's even insured by Lloyd's of London for $2 million per prescription to make sure that you are getting the correct product. They are, again, Health New England and CanRx aren't affiliated, but you can use both of them. And if you have an expensive name brand, you probably to your advantage to get that one from CanRx and continue to get your others through your prescription plan that Health New England offers you. If you couple them together, you can create quite a savings for yourself. I've got a full list here, and there's a lot of other people who need to talk to you before we're over. So I will keep the list up here. I'll stay in the room when we're finished, and if you have questions, very simple to enroll in, but I can explain it to you individually. One-page form, takes you 5 minutes to fill out. The doctor faxes in a script. Very, very simple. But I'll remain after the meeting if people have questions so I can give you the list of medications.
So, do you guys all understand your Health New England now? Now to just add to more confusion, we have Jonathan from Blue Cross Blue Shield. They offer 3 plans for our Medicare plans. I'll let him talk about them.
Thank you. Hi, folks. So I'm actually going to try to keep it pretty brief, pretty simple. Our plans do come down to it being pretty simple. The first thing I'll talk about is Medicare HMO Blue. That is probably the most expensive plan. I will be blunt. Very few people take it. It is the only plan we offer as a Medicare Advantage plan that couples everything together. You have your medication and your medical together on the one plan. You have copays. It operates off of an HMO network, so you have to go to doctors within Massachusetts, doctors who are in the Blue Cross network. That is still pretty all-encompassing. We do participate with 98% of individual doctors within Massachusetts and every hospital system in Massachusetts statewide. The next offering we have is Managed Blue for seniors. Likewise, that is an HMO. Have to get referrals, have to select a primary care doctor, have to go through the network. Network is the same. The most expensive copay you can have on that plan is $50. That's for emergency room. I'm just going to run through the copays because there are so few of them that you have to worry about. Emergency room, $50 copay, and I do have documentation on those in the next room over for afterwards if anyone wants to pop in. So $50 copay for emergency room, $40 for ambulance, $10 for any outpatient office visits. The only other thing you have copays for are medical equipment, $10 per item, so braces, like brace, crutch, things like that, and medications. Now I'm going to go into medications a little bit more at the end because this product and the MedX plan, which is our last of the 3 plans, both have the same medication coverage. Now, the other plan, and this is probably the most common one that folks in the trust take, is the MedX2 plan. MedX2 is just a flat-out supplement. The way it works is Medicare pays their 80%, and then we take care of deductible and or the 20% left over. If Medicare covers a service, we cover it. No questions asked. If Medicare does not cover it, we do not cover it. Now, the things you look at on that are routine preventative exams beyond the covered Medicare well check, or routine vision exams. Neither of those are covered. Now, routine vision exam is a bit of a kind of gray area when it comes to Medicare. I don't know how much this comes into play with this particular group. Most of the time, once you're Medicare point, you have some kind of medical condition that's causing an astigmatism of some sort, be it glaucoma, cataracts. As long as there's a medical diagnosis, it's considered a medical exam, not a routine preventative. In that case, it is covered by Medicare. The other thing to this plan is it uses Medicare's network. This is not an HMO. As long as a doctor takes Medicare, they will take this plan, and that is nationwide. You are not locked to Massachusetts with this one. You do not need referrals on this one. Now, any questions about the medical components on these before I move on to the pharmacy component?
Jonathan, does Managed Blue for seniors or MedX cover the refraction on the exams?
Managed Blue for seniors does cover the refraction. It does not cover glasses or lens supplies, but it does cover the refraction.
Can you explain refraction?
So refraction is just basically checking your prescription level. So that is not covered under the MedX, but it is covered under the Managed Blue for seniors. So it's kind of a trade-off between one or the other. The MedX plan doesn't have any copays. That's the other reason a lot of people go with that one. The only thing you pay for is medications and skilled nursing facility stays, not regular inpatient, not inpatient surgery, just skilled nursing facility, and that's based on Medicare's guidelines. Now, in terms of medication, everything operates under a Part D plan. So you have your medical card, be it either the Managed Blue for Seniors card or the Medix card, in addition to your Medicare A and B card. Now, you would also get a Blue Medicare RX card. This covers your prescriptions. It's a 3-tier plan. So for any medications, if you go to the pharmacy for a 30-day supply, you're paying either $5, $10, or $25 for a 30-day supply. That's how it runs the gamut. You also have the option of mail order through CVS Caremark, double the cost for 3 times as much medication. So for a 90-day supply, you're paying 10, 20, or 50. So it's just really, you're getting a 3rd month free when you go through that option. All the plans do offer a fitness and weight loss benefit, $150 per person on each. So with all of these plans being individual only, if you're a couple and you have 2 separate plans, you'll get the $150 for each service each. For the fitness benefit, it covers class-based programs like yoga, Pilates, Zumba. It covers gym memberships, YMCA, Workout World, etc. The weight loss benefit will cover Weight Watchers Online, Jenny Craig, any hospital-based weight loss programs. Any general questions? Otherwise, I'll turn it over to Fred, and I'll be in the next room afterwards for any more specific questions or personal questions people don't want to run out in front of the group.
Fred, you don't need an introduction.
Good morning, everybody. I'll be very short and sweet. The plan that we have to offer is Tufts Medicare Preferred Supplement plan with PDP. PDP is prescription drug plan. And the reason why we distinguish is because the same thing as Medix, the Medix medical plan and the Tufts medical plan are ruled by the state Division of Insurance, and the PDP is run by the feds. That's why you have 2 cards. As Jonathan talked about, we use 2 cards as well. You use your Medicare card and your Tufts medical card. When you go to the pharmacy, you use your PDP card. And you can tell because one says medical and one has a picture of a pharmacy and RX, so you'll know what it is. The Medix plan runs pretty much the same as the Tufts plan. Our plan has a few little other goodies that I will talk about. You can see any provider, the same as Jonathan said, in the country. It's a portable plan. So if you visit your kids in Chicago, California, Florida for a couple months, whatever, you feel like you're not feeling well, you go to a doctor. On our plan, you're going to pay a $10 office visit. That's it. No hospitalization costs at all for you. Basically, your costs are $10 for a primary care or specialist. But remember, you don't designate a primary care because you're self-referring. So the nice thing about our plan is you're not, I shouldn't say stuck, but under the Health New England, you're sort of stuck in Western Mass. With our plan, you need a hip surgery, ma'am, and you want to go to Baptist Hospital, you call them up, and there you go. I'm saying if, who knows? Who knows, right? Who knows? But it just gives you flexibility. You go to Baptist Hospital, you're paying $0 while you're there, which is nice. We use CVS Caremark for our pharmacy vendor. It doesn't mean you don't have to do that locally. You can go to Target, Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, it doesn't matter, but for mail order, we use CVS Caremark. And I think you use CVS Caremark too, don't you? Who do you use?
Optum.
Who is it? Optum. So on all 3 tiers, you get 3 months supply for 2 copays, which is definitely a plus. So if you have managed medication like blood pressure, cholesterol, that kind of thing, it's definitely a good idea to do. So I work, except you're the Medicare expert at Health New England, but I'm the Medicare expert at Tufts. I've been at Tufts 22 years. For 15 years, I've only worked with Medicare folks. So Tufts really has a whole division in Watertown, 80 miles down the road. When you call up, you're talking to somebody who only talks to Medicare folks 8 hours a day, which I think is helpful. They're sensitive to the population. They can anticipate some of the questions you have, and they're very helpful, and I think that's important. So many times these days you call up a Comcast or a Dell computer and you get God knows where in the world, and you can't understand the people, and they say they're going to help you, and they really can't. So when you call, you're going to get somebody like me who parks the car when you call Watertown. You know it's a local. I always love that when I call somebody and they're like, they have an accent like Boston, you're going to be taken care of, and you really are. So that's important. So like I said, we have a whole division that works with Medicare folks. Wellness is important for Tufts Health Plan. Like Jonathan said, Medicare, for whatever reason, doesn't give you routine anything. We give you a routine eye exam every 2 years. Obviously, if you have an issue, you can go as much as you need to. Routine hearing exam once a year, which is important. We give you $150 for glasses or contacts every year. You make your best deal, whatever you want to do, and you send in for reimbursement. You don't have to go anywhere you want to go. Same thing with a fitness center, the $150, any fitness center. There's no waiting period. I don't know if you have waiting period. I know on the active side, yeah, it used to be like 4 months, whatever, but on our side, there's no waiting period whatsoever. And it's, remember, per member, so there's 2 of you, you each get it. We also have a good benefit that, you know, as we get older, all that rock music is catching up with us. We have a $1,700 hearing aid benefit, cash back to you every 2 years. Whatever deal you make with a hearing aid provider, you're going to get a $1,700 check from us, which certainly would help because they're expensive. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else here. And you got me and Corinne. You're lucky, you know, if you have any problems. Any questions at all? I didn't want to be too repetitive because I think everybody did a good job. Okay, well, I'll be in the other room as well. And I think that, so the bottom line is, you know, Health New England's a great plan. The price went up. If you want more freedom in your choice what you want to do, then come and look at some of the other plans that offer that to you.
So in closing, everybody, I just want to thank you all again for coming. Some things I want you to keep in mind is, once you're on Medicare, you do not both have to be on the same plan. I know it may be easier to manage the same plan, but if one of you has needs that are better suited on one plan than they are on another, you can go on which plan you need to be on to get the best benefits. Again, I'm going to say it's more important now than ever to really know what benefits you're going to use on your plan, because it doesn't do you any good to be covered for everything under the sun for $0 if those aren't the benefits you're using. And then it doesn't do you any good to pay $10 a visit every time you go to the doctor if you're going to the doctor 3-4 times a month. So I encourage you to please think about how you use your plans before you make decisions about what you're going to use for health insurance. We offer a variety of different plans. You've all heard me say none of the plans can cover all your needs. All we can do is put you on the best plan that you need to be in today. So if you can give us a few minutes, we're going to break this room down.
They're only in for a year, remember?
Yeah, you can change every year. Thank you, Fred.
Yeah.
You can change every year. Yes, Gail?
And when can we transition over to a new plan?
So it's this month of November. You can fill out enrollment forms, and it would be effective for January 1st. Okay? So there's a lot of good options. There's a lot of good reasons to stay with Health New England. There's a lot of good reasons to pick some of the other plans. I like them all. I'm friendly with all the representatives. I don't push one over another. I think it's just important for you to understand what you need for coverage, and then we help you pick the plan that best suits those needs to help you be able to get your coverage and your needs met at the least out-of-pocket expenses along the way.
If I could echo one thing, I'd really strongly echo what Corinne said about you do not have to, if you're a couple, you do not have to both be on the same plan like with the active employee plans, and that can be very important. It comes from a personal place for me. My mother is a transplant patient who is immunocompromised. My father historically has always been healthy as a horse. They took vastly different plans when they hit Medicare age because what suits him does not suit her even close. They have very, very different needs. And again, you can change every year. So if those needs change, you can change next year if it comes down to it. So I strongly recommend really looking at what your options are. Don't just pick the first thing that stands out.
And I do have couples who have, one person has more needs, even if it's just for the current year where they switch plans, and the other one stays on a less expensive to offset the cost of that plan. So I just can't say enough how much you just really need to understand where you're spending your money on your medical costs and what plan is going to cover those needs the best. So if you guys don't mind, if you can just give us a few minutes to break down the room. Health New England will be over here with CanRx and Good Health Gateway, so you can ask questions here. Tufts and Blue Cross Blue Shield will be over there. We'll also have a sign-in sheet, raffle tickets. We do have some raffles that were donated by reps. So that table will be set up in the back there for you to do that.